Terrence Murphy lost $320,000 in Thailand. His wife, his dignity, 12 years of his retirement. And the worst part? He handed it all over willingly, believing every word, every smile, every promise that tomorrow would be different. 12 years. 12 years of my life that I'll never get back. 12 years of believing she needed me, that her family needed me, that I was building something real. Thailand taught him a lesson he'll never forget. Not everyone who looks at you with soft eyes and gentle hands has your best interests at heart. You can't save someone who sees you as a solution to problems you didn't know existed. Let me take you back to 2010. I was 62, Australian, from Brisbane, and I'd just retired after 38 years working as a logistics manager for a mining supply company. The job had been good to me, decent salary, superannuation built up over decades, and a redundancy package when they restructured. I had approximately $380,000 in savings. That was my redundancy payout. And what I'd managed to save over the years, I'd planned to invest it conservatively and live off the returns, maybe $2,200 a month. Combined with my pension starting at 65, I'd calculated I could live comfortably for the rest of my life. My marriage to Susan had ended 8 years earlier, 23 years together, and she'd left me for a bloke from her yoga class. After the divorce settlement, after helping put our 2 daughters through university, after years of feeling like I'd failed at the one thing that was supposed to last forever, I was alone. I was 62 and felt like life had passed me by while I was busy working 60-hour weeks in dusty mine sites across Queensland. A mate of mine, Greg, had retired to Pattaya 2 years earlier. Every email, every phone call, he'd say the same thing. Mate, you're wasting your life in Brisbane. Come to Thailand. Your money goes 3 times further, the weather's perfect, and the women Christ. Terrence, the women actually appreciate a decent bloke. I thought he was exaggerating. I thought he was going through some midlife crisis, chasing bar girls and pretending it was paradise. But the more I sat in my empty 2-bedroom unit in Chermside, eating microwave dinners and watching cricket alone, the more his words echoed in my head. I'd been researching retirement destinations for months. Portugal, Ecuador, Malaysia. But Thailand kept coming up. Low cost of living, great health care, established expat community, warm year-round, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to feel alive again before I got too old to enjoy it. March 2010, I arrived in Bangkok for a 2-week holiday. The moment I stepped out of Suvarnabhumi Airport, the heat hit me like opening an oven door. But there was something else, an energy, a chaos, a sense that anything could happen. The traffic, the street food vendors, the temples covered in gold, the smiling faces everywhere. It felt like the opposite of my quiet, predictable life in Brisbane. I rented a serviced apartment in Sukhumvit for $800 a month, about what I'd been paying for electricity and rates back home. I was spending maybe $1,800 a month total, living better than I had in years, eating out every night, taking taxis everywhere, getting massages that cost less than a beer in Australia. If I'd kept things simple, none of this would have happened. But I wasn't thinking about simple. I was thinking about not being alone anymore, about having someone to share this new life with. And that's when I met her. I'd been in Thailand for 3 weeks when I met her. I'd extended my holiday twice, and I was seriously considering making the move permanent. Greg kept trying to drag me to Pattaya, but I liked Bangkok. It felt more like a real city, less like a retirement village for foreign men. One evening, I wandered into a restaurant on Sukhumvit Soi 11. It wasn't anything special, just a small Thai place with plastic chairs and fluorescent lights, the kind of place expats ignore but locals pack every night. I'd walked past it dozens of times, but that night I was hungry and it smelled incredible. Wifa was my waitress. She was 38, which I learned later, with shoulder-length black hair always tied back neatly, high cheekbones, and this way of moving that was efficient but graceful. She wore simple clothes, black pants, and a white polo shirt with the restaurant logo, but she carried herself with a dignity that stood out. She wasn't beautiful in the obvious way, but there was something about her face, something intelligent and watchful, that caught my attention. "You want menu?" she asked in careful English, smiling. "Yes, please. And maybe you can recommend something? I'm new to Thai food." Her face lit up. For the next 10 minutes, she patiently explained dishes, warned me about spicy levels, suggested things an Australian might like. She laughed when I mispronounced pad krapow and corrected me gently. She wasn't flirting, at least. It didn't feel like flirting. It felt like genuine kindness. Over the next 2 weeks, I became a regular. I'd show up around 7 p.m., always sat at the same table, and Wiffa would remember what I'd ordered before, would ask how my day was, would tell me small things about Bangkok, where to get a good haircut, which temple was worth visiting, how to spot a taxi scam. She was different from the other women I'd encountered. She didn't ask for drinks. She didn't suggest we go somewhere else. She didn't touch my arm or call me handsome man. She was professional, friendly, and there was this quiet sadness in her eyes that made me want to know her story. One night, the restaurant was slow. She brought my bill and lingered by the table. "You stay Thailand? Long time?" she asked. "I'm thinking about it. I'm retired. Nothing keeping me in Australia anymore." "You have family?" "2 daughters. They're grown up now, have their own lives in Sydney and Melbourne. My ex-wife, we're not together anymore." She nodded, understanding, without judgment. "Same me. I divorced 5 years ago." "I'm sorry to hear that." "It okay. Better alone then." She searched for the word, then with wrong person. Something about the way she said it, the acceptance and quiet strength, resonated with me. We talked for 20 minutes that night about divorce, about starting over, about loneliness. When I left, I gave her my phone number, written on a napkin. If you'd like to show me more of Bangkok, as friends, I'd enjoy the company. No pressure. She looked at the number for a long moment, then smiled a real smile, not the professional one. "Okay, I show you real Bangkok, not tourist Bangkok." 3 days later, she called. We met on her day off, and she took me to Chatuchak Market, navigating the maze of stalls with ease, translating for vendors, laughing at my attempts to bargain. I bought her lunch, she protested, but accepted. We spent 6 hours together, and I didn't want it to end. Within 2 weeks, she told me about her life. She was from Bangkok originally, not a farm girl from Izon like Greg had warned me about. Her family lived in Lat Phrao, her mother, her father who'd had a stroke 3 years ago, and her younger brother who was trying to start a phone repair business. She'd been married at 23 to a Thai man who'd gambled away their savings and beaten her when she complained. She'd left him with nothing, started over as a waitress, and had been supporting her parents ever since her father got sick. "Every month I send them 15,000 baht, she said. "Not enough, but I try." Her eyes teared up when she talked about her father. Before stroke, he taxi driver, strong man. Now he cannot walk, cannot talk good. My mother take care him alone, very hard. Something in me broke open. Here was this woman intelligent, dignified, working herself to exhaustion in a restaurant job that paid maybe $600 a month, sending most of it to her parents, asking nothing from anyone. And she'd been hurt, just like I'd been hurt. How much would help? I mean, if money wasn't a problem, what would make things easier? She shook her head quickly. No, I not ask you money. I know you're not. I'm offering, as a friend. How much? Maybe 20,000 baht for father medicine. He need. I don't know English word. For blood pressure. Very expensive. That was $650 Australian. I'd spent more than that on a weekend fishing trip. I transferred it to her account that evening. The look on her face, gratitude, relief, tears convinced me this was real. She wasn't like the bar girls. She was educated, from Bangkok. Just someone life had beaten down, who needed help. I could be that help. Over the next month, we became inseparable. She quit the restaurant job. I gave her $800 a month to make up for lost income, which seemed more than fair. She could help her parents without destroying her back carrying plates 12 hours a day. I thought I'd found something genuine, a partnership, someone who saw me as Terrence, not as a wallet. I was wrong. Over the next 5 months, life felt like I'd finally gotten it right. Wifa would meet me every morning at my apartment. We'd have breakfast at the street stall downstairs. She taught me to love joke, the rice porridge I'd initially found bland. We'd spend days exploring Bangkok temples, markets, parks. She introduced me to her Bangkok, not the tourist version. Small restaurants and alleys where no one spoke English. Her favorite massage place in Lat Phra where an hour cost $5. Weekend trips to Ayutthaya, to Kanchanaburi, to the floating markets. My pension from Australia gave me $2,400 a month. Rent was $800. Living expenses maybe $1,000. And I was giving Wifa $800 for her family. I wasn't saving, but I wasn't dipping into my capital either. It felt sustainable. Then, about 6 months in, her brother's phone repair shop got flooded during monsoon season. All his inventory was destroyed. He had no insurance. He owed money to suppliers. Wifa came to me crying. My brother lose everything. He want die. He say he cannot face family. How much does he need? Maybe 80,000 baht. I don't know. Too much. I cannot ask you. But she was asking, in the way that someone asks without asking. I'd learned this about Thai culture, the indirect communication, the face saving, the implications. I gave her $2,600 Australian. It cleaned out most of my Australian transaction account, but I told myself, this is what you do for family, and I was starting to think of them as family. That phrase destroyed me. Only this one time. Because it was never one time. It happened every few months, her father's medication, her mother's tooth infection, unexpected bills, small crises that required $500 here, $800 there. Each time, Wifa would cry, apologize, promise it was the last time, and I'd believe her because I wanted to believe her. About 8 months into our relationship, she brought up marriage. We were having dinner at a restaurant in Thonglor when she said, quietly, "You ever think about marry again?" "I don't know." It didn't end well. I understand. But Thai culture, if lady have faring boyfriend but not marry, people think she paused, looking down. She bad lady, like bar girl. My family, they ask me why you not marry me if you love me. The pressure was subtle but constant. Her mother wanted to meet me. Her father, even with his limited speech, wanted to know my intentions. Her brother kept asking when we'd make it official. And there was this edge to Wifa's demeanor, not hostile, but withdrawn, hurt, like I was using her without commitment. I didn't want to lose her. That was the truth. I didn't want to go back to being alone. And if marriage would make her feel secure, would satisfy her family, would prove I was serious, then why not? February 2011, we married at the district office in Bangkok. It was quick, bureaucratic. We needed my Australian documents. Her ID? Some paperwork I barely understood even though she translated. The whole thing cost maybe $50 in fees. But then came the Sinsat discussion. In Thai culture, she explained carefully, man gives Sinsat to bride family. Show respect. Show you can take care wife. How much are we talking about? My family not rich but not poor. Maybe 200,000 baht. Show you serious. That was $6,500 Australian. I'd heard about Sinsat from Greg, who'd paid 50,000 baht for his bar girl wife and got most of it back after the ceremony. It's theater, mate. You give it, take photos, they give it back. But when I asked Wifa about getting it back, she looked genuinely confused. Why you get back? It for my family. My father sick. They need money. I paid it. I told myself, it's their culture. This is what you do. I was embarrassed to haggle, embarrassed to look cheap in front of her family. So I wired $6,500 to her mother's account. We had a small ceremony at her family's house in Lat Frau, about 30 relatives, monks chanting, food I couldn't identify, everyone smiling at me and speaking Thai I couldn't understand. The ceremony itself cost another $1,200. The monks' donations, the food, the photographer. Wifa had insisted we needed proper photos for family to remember. At this point, I'd spent roughly $42,000. Breaking it down, initial help and monthly allowances, 8 months times $800, $6,000. $400 brothers shop crisis, $2,000. $600 various emergencies, $3,000. Sinsot, $6,500. Wedding ceremony, $1,200. First apartment rental deposits and furniture, $3,800. Miscellaneous, $1,500. Total, $42,000. I still had $338,000 in Australia. That was 89% of my retirement savings. I felt good about it, actually. I'd helped a family in need. I'd married a good woman. I'd done everything right. When we got back from the ceremony, Wifa kissed me and said, "Now we can start real life together, build future." I thought marriage would be the beginning of stability. I was wrong. It was the beginning of the real bleeding. The first year of marriage was an adjustment. We moved into a larger 2-bedroom condo in Au Nut, still not expensive by Bangkok standards, but nicer than my previous place. Rent was 18,000 baht a month, about $580. It had a pool, a gym I never used, an AC that actually worked. My monthly expenses looked like this: rent, $580, food and utilities, $450, Wifa's allowance, $800. She'd stopped working, said married women should focus on home. Family support, $400, regular contributions to her parents. Personal expenses, $270, total, $2,500. Month, my Australian pension was $2,400. I was running $100 in deficit every month, which meant dipping into my savings. Not catastrophic, but the math bothered me. I mentioned it to Wifa once. In Australia, I was saving money. Here, I'm spending more than I earn. She looked hurt. You want me go back work? Lose face with family? No, I just mean we should be careful. I try very hard save money. I cook at home. I not buy expensive thing, but life in Bangkok not free. She was right, in a way. She did cook most nights. She didn't demand designer bags or jewelry. But there was this constant low-level drain that I couldn't quite track. One day she came home with a new iPhone. I'd noticed her old phone was cracked, but I hadn't said anything. You bought a new phone? Yes. Old phone broken. Cannot call you if emergency. Only 23,000 baht. She said it like it was nothing. That was $750. I'd been using the same phone for 3 years. That's expensive, Wifa. It's only 23,000. Not too much. That phrase destroyed me. Only. Because it happened dozens of times, only 5,000 baht for new clothes, only 8,000 baht for her hair, only 12,000 baht for her mother's birthday gift. Each time, it was only, but it added up to thousands every month. Then came the family emergencies, and they came with predictable regularity. 3 months after the wedding, her father needed emergency medical treatment, 45,000 baht. I sent it the same day because how do you say no to someone's sick father? 2 months later, her brother's phone repair business, the one I'd already saved once, was behind on rent, 38,000 baht, or he'd lose everything. I sent it. 4 months later, her mother fell and needed dental surgery, 32,000 baht. I sent it. I started noticing a pattern. Every 6 to 8 weeks, there was a crisis. Every crisis required between $1,000, $1,500. Every time, Wifa would cry, apologize, promise it was the last time. And every time, I'd send the money, because what was the alternative? Let her family suffer? Look like the cheap foreign husband who wouldn't help his Thai in-laws? About 18 months into the marriage, something shifted in Wifa's behavior. The warmth that had drawn me to her, the soft voice, the gentle touches, the way she'd greet me at the door with genuine happiness started to cool. She was often on her phone, texting in Thai, angling the screen away when I walked past. "Who are you talking to?" "My friend. From school." "You're always texting." "Thai people text a lot." "You not understand Thai way." When I suggested we go out for dinner, somewhere nice like we used to, she'd say she was tired. When I wanted to be intimate, she'd have a headache or stomach ache. When I tried to discuss our finances, she'd get defensive or start crying, turning it into an argument about whether I loved her or just wanted to control her. My friends started noticing. Greg visited from Pattaya and pulled me aside. "Mate, I don't want to be that guy, but something's off. She barely looks at you. She's on her phone the whole time. And I saw her texting in English when you went to the bathroom, not Thai. She has friends who speak English." "Terrence, listen to yourself. You're making excuses." I was. Because acknowledging the truth meant acknowledging that I'd made a catastrophic mistake, that I'd given up my life in Australia, my stability, my security for a woman who maybe never loved me at all. By the end of year 2, I'd spent another $38,000 on family emergencies, unexpected expenses, and the constant monthly overspending. My total savings were down to $300,000, 79% of my original amount. Still comfortable, but the trajectory worried me. At this rate, I'd be broke in less than a decade. Then Wifa started talking about buying a condo. "For our future," she said, "so we not throw money away on rent. Build something for family." This was when things went from bad to catastrophic. March 2013, Wifa sat me down with printouts from Thai property websites. She'd been researching, she said. She'd found the perfect place, a 2-bedroom condo in Bang Na, near her family but still convenient to central Bangkok. New building, good developer, prices were rising. If we buy now, in 5 years may be worth double. And we not pay rent anymore, save 18,000 baht every month. The condo only 3.2 million baht. That was $104,000, Australian, nearly a third of my remaining savings. That's a lot of money, Wifa, but we save on rent. In 5 years, we save 1 million baht, plus value go up. Thailand property always go up. Her brother, suddenly an expert in real estate, backed her up. He showed me listings of similar condos, pointed to price increases over previous years, insisted this was the smart financial move. Even her father, struggling to speak, managed to communicate that owning was better than renting. I had several concerns. First, foreigners can't own land in Thailand. I knew this much. We'd have to put it in Wifa's name, meaning I'd have zero legal claim if things went south. Second, it was a massive chunk of my savings. Third, we'd been married less than 3 years, and the relationship already felt strained. But Wifa had answers for everything. "You worry about my name? We married. What mine is yours. You not trust your wife? I trust you, but nothing. You say you love me, but you not. Trust me. This hurt me so much." She started crying. "I think you love me. I think we build life together. But you see me like bar girl. Like I steal from you. That's not what I meant." "Then why you not want buy condo? We pay rent forever? When we old still pay rent? Die in rental condo?" Her family applied pressure too. Her mother kept asking when we'd buy a proper home. Her brother said he knew a good real estate agent, kept sending Wifa listings. There was this sense that I was failing as a husband, that a real man would provide stability and property for his family. I started to rationalize. Maybe she was right about saving on rent. Maybe Thai property did appreciate. Maybe I was being paranoid and distrustful. What kind of marriage did we have if I couldn't make a financial commitment to our shared future? And there was a darker fear underneath all the logic. If I said no, would she leave me? Would I end up back in Brisbane, alone, having failed at marriage again? The thought terrified me more than losing the money. Okay, I finally said, but let's be smart about this. Let's find something under $3 million, something we can afford. Wiffa hugged me, crying with joy. You best husband. You see, this make a strong family. Over the next 2 months, we looked at condos. The perfect place she'd initially found had been sold, conveniently. Every new place she showed me had some reason why we needed to pay more: better location, bigger balcony, higher floor, near BTS, better security, nicer gym, whatever. We settled on a unit in a new development in Bang Na. 2 bedrooms, 72 square meters, 13th floor. The developer was offering pre-construction prices. 3.4 million baht, $110,000. Then came the additional costs nobody had mentioned. Transfer fees, 105,000 baht, $3,400. Lawyer fees, 45,000 baht, $1,500. Furnishing, 280,000 baht, $9,100. Wiffa insisted we needed furniture, TV, washing machine, everything new. Renovation, 180,000 baht, $5,800. Painting, some built-in closets, upgrades. By the time we actually moved in 8 months later, I'd spent $129,800. The condo was in Wiffa's name. I had a document, in Thai, that the lawyer said protected my investment. I couldn't read it. Wiffa said it stated I'd provided the funds and had rights to the property. I signed it because what choice did I have? The money was already spent. I remember the day we got the keys, October 2013. I was 65 years old. We stood in the empty unit, marble floors, city views, fresh paint smell, and Wiffa said, "Finally, we have home. This is where we grow old together." I felt relief. I thought, okay, this was expensive, but it's done. Now we can stabilize. Now the bleeding stops. I was wrong. The bleeding had only just begun. 6 months into owning the condo, the reality of property ownership in Bangkok became clear. The monthly maintenance fee was 3,200 baht. Utilities averaged 4,500 baht because Wiffa liked the AC cold. Property tax, insurance. The sinking fund for building maintenance expenses I hadn't anticipated added another $180 in month. But the real problem wasn't the condo. The real problem was that owning property seemed to give Wiffa's family the sense that I was wealthy and that wealth should be shared. Her brother's phone repair shop, which I'd now saved twice, needed to expand. He'd found a great location, could double his business, just needed capital for inventory and 3 months rent deposit, 120,000 baht. I sent it because I'd already invested in his business. Why let it fail now? Her mother needed cataract surgery, not an emergency, but she was having trouble seeing. It would improve her quality of life. The good hospital, not the government one, was 85,000 baht. I sent it because what kind of person denies their mother-in-law sight? Her cousin was getting married and needed help with the wedding expenses, 40,000 baht. I sent it because refusing would shame Wiffa's family. Every few weeks, a new request. Some were legitimate emergencies. Her father fell. Her aunt had dengue fever. Her nephew needed school supplies. Others felt less urgent but came with the same pressure. Lose face, shame the family, prove you're a cheap foreigner who doesn't understand Thai values. I tried to push back once. Her brother asked for 60,000 baht for something related to his shop, and I said, "I've already given him a lot of money. When does it stop?" Wiffa exploded. "You think you better than Thai people? You think we try steal from you? My family not rich like you. They work hard but life difficult. You have so much money and you cannot help family? What kind of man you are? I don't have so much money. I'm running out. You have condo. You have money in Australia. You not poor. That money has to last the rest of my life. You think only about yourself. Thai people think about family. The argument lasted hours. She slept in the second bedroom that night. The next morning, she was cold and distant. The message was clear. If I wanted harmony, if I wanted her affection back, I needed to send the money. I sent it, but something had shifted in me. I started noticing patterns I'd ignored before. Wifa was always on her phone, always messaging someone. When I asked who, she'd say friend or cousin, but never elaborate. She started going out alone, shopping trips that lasted 6 hours, visits to her family that stretched into overnight stays. Why don't I come with you to see your parents? They not feel comfortable with Farang there. They want talk Thai with me. You not understand. I suggested we take a trip together, just the two of us. Maybe Phuket or Chiang Mai, rekindle what we'd had in the beginning. She said she was too busy, too tired. Maybe next month. Next month never came. Our intimate life, which had been cooling for a year, disappeared entirely. She always had an excuse headache, tired, not feeling well, too hot, too cold, upset stomach. When I tried to talk about it, she'd say, you only think about sex. Thai wife, not like Western wife. You not understand culture. But I'd seen Thai couples holding hands, being affectionate. This wasn't about culture. This was about her not wanting to be near me. Around the 3-year mark of owning the condo, I sat down and calculated everything I'd spent. Original savings, $380,000. Spent so far, pre-marriage expenses, $42,000. First 2 years of marriage, monthly deficit plus emergencies, $38,000. Condo purchase and setup, $129,800. Years 3 to 5 family support and emergencies, $67,000. Monthly overspending 3 years, times $100 month, $3,600. Total spent, $280,400. Remaining, $99,600. I was down to 26% of my original savings. I was 67 years old. My Australian pension was barely covering monthly expenses, and every few weeks, another crisis would drain another $1,000, $2,000. I felt sick. I'd spent nearly $300,000 in 5 years. For what? A condo I didn't legally own, a wife who barely tolerated me, a family who saw me as an ATM? I started lying awake at night, doing the math. At this rate, I'd be broke within 2 years. Then what? Go back to Australia with nothing? Live in public housing at 70? My daughters barely spoke to me. They'd warned me about moving to Thailand, about marrying so quickly, and I dismissed their concerns as not understanding. I'd sacrifice my security, my dignity, my relationships with my daughters for this. But I kept telling myself, I've invested so much already. If I leave now, it's all wasted. Maybe things will get better. Maybe once her family situation improves, the requests will stop. Maybe Wifa will remember why she married me. Then, one Sunday afternoon in January 2016, everything collapsed. I'd noticed Greg acting strange during his last visit. He'd come to Bangkok for the weekend, stayed in a hotel in Nana instead of with us, which was unusual, and kept making excuses to cut the visit short. When I pressed him, he'd say, "Nothing, mate. Just busy." But I knew Greg. We'd been friends for 20 years. Something was eating at him. 3 weeks later, he called me. "Terrence, can you meet me? Just us. Don't tell Wifa." We met at a coffee shop in ASOC, far from our condo. Greg looked uncomfortable, kept stirring his coffee without drinking it. "This is the hardest thing I've ever had to tell a mate," he started. "But if I don't tell you, and you find out later I knew, you'd never forgive me." My stomach dropped. "Just say it. Wifa's seeing someone else. Has been for at least 2 years, maybe longer." The coffee shop noise faded. My vision narrowed. "How do you know?" My girlfriend, Nok, knows Wifa's sister. They went to school together. Last time we were up here, Nok mentioned something about Wifa's boyfriend, and when I asked what she meant, she got weird and clammed up. I pushed her on it. Terrence, Wifa never left her ex, the guy she was supposedly divorced from. They've been together the whole time. He works in construction, lives in Chonburi, comes to Bangkok every few weekends. That's impossible. She's with me every day. Is she, really? Or is she visiting her family a lot, going shopping alone, taking overnight trips? She was. 3, 4 times a month, sometimes more. Greg continued. I didn't want to believe it either, so I had Nok do some digging. Wifa and this guy post photos together on Facebook, her Thai Facebook, not the English one she probably showed you. They're in a relationship status, have been for 8 years. He showed me his phone, Facebook profile, all in Thai. Wifa's face, younger in some photos, smiling next to a Thai man early 40 seconds, muscular, tattoos on his arms, photos at beaches, at restaurants, at what looked like his apartment. The dates ranged from 2008 to 3 weeks ago. That was before she'd even met me. I thought she was divorced. Mate, I don't think she was ever divorced. I think she's still married to him. The next hour was a blur. Greg showed me more photos. Screenshots from line messages that Nok had seen Wifa talking to her sister about the Farang, May, and her husband, him. Wifa complaining about having to live in Bang Na when she'd rather be in Chonburi with him. Wifa joking about how much money she'd gotten from me that month. You're the sponsor, Greg said quietly. You're the guy paying for their life. I thought about every baht I'd sent to her family. The condo, the business investments, the endless emergencies. Had any of it been real, or had I been funding her real life with her real husband while playing the role of stupid foreigner who thought he'd found love? Suddenly, everything made sense. Her coldness, because she loved someone else. Her reluctance to spend time with me, because I was work, not relationship. Her constant need for money, because she was supporting 2 households, and he didn't have the money I did. The overnight trips. She wasn't visiting her parents. She was visiting him. The phone secrecy. She was texting him, calling him, maintaining the real relationship while managing me. Her family's constant crises. Maybe they were real, maybe they weren't. But either way, I was the solution to every problem because I was the foreigner who could afford it. I thought about the old man in the restaurant during our first month together. He'd approached her, said something in Thai that made her snap at him angrily. Then he'd walked away laughing. She'd told me he was drunk and rude. Now I wondered, had he known her? Had he been a customer from before, or a friend who recognized her game? I thought about her quitting her job so quickly. She'd said it was to be a proper wife. Now I realized she didn't need to work because I was paying her more than a waitress salary to do nothing. I thought about the condo in Bang Na. That's near the highway to Chonburi, where her boyfriend lives. Easy for him to visit. I'd bought them a love nest. I thought about her brother's phone shop. Did it even exist? Or had I just given 200,000 plus baht to, what? Her boyfriend? Her actual family? Some other scam? The full picture emerged like a photograph developing in chemicals. Wifa had been with her boyfriend the entire time. Maybe they'd hit a rough financial patch. Maybe he couldn't support her and her family. Maybe she'd suggested she could find a foreign sponsor easy money from a lonely old man. She'd gotten a job at a restaurant in a tourist area, found me, played the role of the dignified, educated Thai woman who'd been hurt and just needed someone kind. She'd fed me her sob story. She'd let me be the white knight. She'd accepted my help reluctantly at first, making me feel like I was offering, not like she was asking. Once I was hooked, once I'd invested emotionally, she'd reeled me in. Marriage for security, sinsat for a big payday. The condo so she'd have property in her name that I'd paid for. And the whole time, she was going back to him, laughing about me, using my money to fund their life. I'd spent $280,000 to be the punchline of a joke I didn't know was being told. I calculated what I could. I'd sent $400,000 plus baht to her family over 5 years. That was $13,000. Had any of it gone to medical bills? Or had it gone to her boyfriend? To their life together? To trips and expenses and bills I'd never seen? The condo, $129,800 in her name. If they split up, he'd have no claim, but she'd own it outright. Property I could never touch, never recover, never benefit from. The business investments, $8,000 plus to her brother's shop. Did he even have a shop? Or was it money laundered through family to her boyfriend? I was 67 years old. I had $99,600 left. I was living in a condo that belonged to my wife, who was apparently still married to someone else, who'd been using me as a cash source for years. My emotions cycled through rage. How dare she? How dare they? I wanted to scream, to break things, to hurt someone the way I'd been hurt. Devastation. I'd believed her. Every word, every tear, every promise. I'd believed she needed me, that we were building something real. Humiliation. Everyone knew. Her family knew. His family probably knew. Their friends knew. The only person who didn't know was me, the stupid Farang who paid for everything while they laughed behind my back. Self-hatred. How could I be so blind, so desperate, so pathetic? My daughters had warned me. Greg had hinted. Even strangers had probably seen it. But I'd been so lonely, so eager to believe I'd found love, that I'd ignored every red flag and handed over my life savings. I had to decide what to do next. Confront her and watch her lie. Leave immediately and abandon everything I'd invested. Try to negotiate some money back. Laughable she had lawyers and documents and Thai law on her side. Stay and pretend I didn't know. Impossible I couldn't look at her face without feeling sick. The next morning I told Wifa I needed to meet with her, just the two of us. She seemed surprised but agreed. That evening Wifa came home from wherever she'd actually been. She'd said shopping, but I didn't believe anything anymore. I was sitting on the couch in our condo, the condo I'd paid for, in her name, that I had no legal claim to waiting. Terrence? You okay? You look sick. Sit down. What wrong? I didn't ease into it. I didn't give her a chance to prepare a lie. Tell me about your boyfriend in Chonburi. Her face went through several expressions in rapid succession. Confusion, shock, fear, then something calculating. What you mean? I don't have boyfriend. I have you. His name is Somchai, isn't it? Or wait, am I supposed to call him your husband, since you're actually still married to him? She started shaking her head, rapid-fire denials in Thai and broken English. No, you wrong. Who tell you this? This crazy? I pulled out my phone and showed her the Facebook screenshots Greg had sent me, her and Somchai, the dates, the relationship status, the comments from friends and family. She stared at the phone, her face draining of color. When were you going to tell me? Or was the plan just to keep draining my bank account until I had nothing left? She tried denial first. That old photo. From before I know you. I forget delete. Not mean anything. The most recent photo is from 3 weeks ago. You're wearing the shirt I bought you for Christmas. Someone edit photo. Thai people do this for jealous. Wifa. Stop. But she kept going, scrambling for any explanation. Okay. I tell truth. He my friend. My ex-husband. We stay friend for family, but not together. Just friend. You're in a relationship status with him on Facebook. Facebook, automatic. I not know how change. You're tagged at his apartment 6 times in the last year. I visit him sometime because he have my old thing. My box. I need get my stuff. I waited. Let her run out of lies. Finally, when she realized none of it was working, her whole demeanor shifted. The panic left her face, replaced by something cold. Fine. You want no truth? I tell you truth. She admitted it. Not because she felt guilty, not because she wanted to confess, but because she was caught and lying was no longer useful. Yes, I still with Somchai. We never divorce. We together 8 year. Before I meet you. So everything was a lie. Not everything. You nice man. I not plan this. But we need money. His job not pay good. My family need help. I work in restaurant. Not make enough. Then I meet you, and you so kind. And I think, maybe you can help. Help? You mean fund your real life, while I thought I was your husband? You are my husband. We marry legal. I not lie about that. We're married because it gave you access to more money, the sinsat, the condo, all of it. She didn't deny it. I had to know. I had to hear it, as much as it would destroy me. Did you ever love me? At all? She paused. For a moment I thought she might lie, might offer me some dignity. But she didn't. I care about you. You good man. But love? No. I love Somchai. From beginning, I love him. Then why did you marry me? Because he cannot give me security. You can. Thai culture, woman needs security. Need house. Need money for family. You have money. You want wife. Both get what need. Both get. I couldn't even finish the sentence. I didn't get what I needed. I got robbed. You get Thai wife. You not alone. You have someone cook, take care, condo, go with you place. This not enough? No, it's not enough. Because I thought it was real. She shrugged, actually shrugged. Real or not real, what different? You pay same. There were more truths that came out in the brutal hour that followed. The money I'd sent to her family. Some went to her parents, but most went to her and Somchai their expenses, trips, his motorcycle, things they needed. Her brother's phone shop? It existed, but most of the money I'd sent had been marked up. He'd needed 50,000 baht. She'd asked me for 120,000 and kept the difference. The medical emergencies? Her father's stroke was real, but the emergency costs were often inflated. A 30,000 baht procedure became 60,000 when she told me about it. The condo? She'd wanted it in Bang Na specifically because it was close to the highway to Chonburi, easy for Somchai to visit. I'd paid $130,000 for their convenience. Who else knows? About me? About him? Everyone. My family know. His family know. Our friend. So everyone was laughing at me. Not laughing, just understand situation. I thought about every dinner with her family, every smile, every thank you cap from her father. They'd all known. They'd all watched me hand over money while I played the role of husband, and they'd all participated in the theater. I had one more question. Did you marry me legally? Or are you married to him legally and our marriage is fake? I marry you legal. I divorced Somchai before, but never tell him. On paper, he, my ex-husband, you, my husband, but in heart, she didn't finish, but she didn't need to. So everything I've paid for the condo, the money, all of it, it's legally yours. Yes, no apology, no remorse, just cold confirmation. I looked at this woman I'd thought I loved, thought I knew, and I didn't recognize her. Maybe I'd never known her at all. Maybe the Wifa I'd fallen for gentle, kind, wounded had never existed. Maybe she'd always been this cold, calculating person who saw relationships as transactions and foreigners as solutions to financial problems. I want you to leave, I said. This my condo. You leave. And she was right. Legally, I had no claim. The condo was in her name. I was a guest in property I'd paid for. I spent that night in a hotel. I couldn't look at her, couldn't be in that space. I lay awake calculating the damage. Condo, $129,800. Unrecoverable, legally hers. Family, business, investments, $80,000 plus gone, no proof. Of anything monthly support over 5 years, $30,000 plus spent wedding. Sinsat, $7,700 gone. Miscellaneous, $35,000 plus gone. Total lost, $282,500. I had $97,500 left, 25.6% of my original savings. I was 67 years old. Australian pension was $2,400 month. Even living cheaply, I'd burn through my remaining money in a few years. And then what? Live on $2,400 month hard even in Thailand if I had to pay rent again. I consulted with a lawyer the next day. Australian expat, practiced Thai law, had seen 1,000 stories like mine. You have a document saying you contributed funds to the condo? Yes. In Thai, he looked at it. This is worthless. It says you helped with the purchase, but doesn't give you ownership rights. Even if it did, Thai law is clear. Property in a Thai national's name belongs to them. Foreigners have no claim on marital property in Thailand. What about the money I sent her family? The investments? Do you have proof? Receipts? Contracts? Written? Acknowledgement of loans? No, it was family help. I didn't think I needed contracts. Then it's considered gifts, legally unrecoverable. So I have no recourse. None. I'm sorry, Mr. Murphy. This happens every week. Foreign man, Thai wife, property in her name, relationship ends. He loses everything. Thai law is designed this way. It's why we tell foreigners, never, ever, put property in a Thai person's name unless you're prepared to lose it. I had 3 options. Go back to the condo, live with Wifa, pretend I didn't know about Somchai, and continue being her ATM. Leave Thailand immediately, go back to Australia with $97,500, start over. Stay in Thailand, find cheap accommodation, try to stretch my remaining money, accept that I'd been scammed but couldn't afford to leave. I chose option 2. Because staying meant living with the humiliation every day, running into people who knew, being the cautionary tale other expats whispered about in bars. 2 weeks later, I'd packed what belongings I could fit in 2 suitcases. Everything else, furniture, electronics, clothes I left in the condo. What was the point? Wifa owned it anyway. Let her and Somchai enjoy it. The last time I saw Wifa, she was sitting on the couch, on her phone, probably texting him. She didn't look up. I'm leaving. I'll send you divorce papers. Okay, that was it. No goodbye, no apology, no acknowledgement of what she'd done. I walked out of the condo, took the elevator down, and stepped out into Bangkok heat for what I thought would be the last time. Behind me, condo, $129,800. 5 years of financial support, $150,000 plus. My dignity, priceless my trust, shattered my retirement, destroyed with me. 2 suitcases, $97,500. A lesson I'd never forget. I was 67 years old, moving back to Australia with a quarter of my savings. No home, no prospects, no dignity. I'd spent 12 years in Thailand. The country had taken everything except my ability to warn others. March 2016, I landed in Brisbane. I'd been gone 6 years. The city had changed, more construction, higher rents, everything more expensive. Australia had become one of the most expensive countries in the world, and I was coming back with $97,500, no job prospects at 67, and no home. I stayed with my daughter Emma for the first month while I looked for accommodation. The conversations were painful. She'd warned me about Thailand, about marrying quickly, about the age gap. She'd said, "Dad, please be careful. We've read about this happening." And I'd said, "You don't understand. Wifa isn't like that. She's educated. She's from Bangkok. She loves me." Now, sitting in her spare bedroom, eating meals she cooked for me because I couldn't afford to contribute much, I had to admit, my daughters had been right, and I'd destroyed my relationship with them for a woman who'd never loved me. Emma didn't say, "I told you so." She was too kind for that, but I could see it in her eyes, the disappointment, the Frustration, the sadness that her father had been so desperate and foolish. I found a small unit to rent in Greenslopes, 1 bedroom, older building, $1,600 month. In Thailand, I'd rented a 2 bedroom condo with pool and gym for $580. The math was brutal. My monthly expenses in Australia: rent, $1,600, utilities, $180, food, $450, transport, $120. I couldn't afford a car, phone, internet, $90. Other, $160. Total, $2,600. Month. My pension, $2,400. Month I was burning through $200. Month of my remaining savings. At that rate, I'd be broke in 40 years, but I'd be dead in 20, so technically I'd be fine. Except I had no buffer, no emergency fund, no ability to travel or enjoy life. I was surviving, not living. I got a part-time job at Bunnings, stocking shelves and helping customers find tools. Minimum wage, 20 hours a week, about $450 after tax. It covered my monthly deficit and gave me a tiny bit of breathing room. But I was 67 years old, wearing a green apron, explaining to customers where to find sandpaper, sleeping in a unit that smelled like mildew, eating 2-minute noodles for dinner 3 nights a week because meat was expensive. This was my retirement. This was what $280,000 in 6 years in Thailand had bought me. Thailand had been beautiful. The temples, the beaches, the food, the warmth. But it had also been the most expensive mistake of my life. What it took, savings, $282,500. Time, 6 years, I could never reclaim my dignity. Watching my wife live a double life. My relationship with my daughters. Years of distance I'd caused. My security gone forever. My trust in myself, in others, in love, what it gave. A lesson in human nature, a deep understanding of how scams work, humility I didn't want, stories that other men needed to hear, perspective on what actually matters. Thailand isn't evil. Thai people aren't all scammers. But there's a system there, an ecosystem where lonely foreign men meet beautiful Thai women who need money, and both parties tell themselves different stories about what's happening. The man thinks, she loves me, she needs me, we're building a life together. The woman thinks, he's a sponsor, he gets companionship, I get security, it's a fair trade. Sometimes the woman is honest about it, it's a transactional relationship, and both sides know. Those relationships can work because everyone's clear on terms, but sometimes the woman pretends it's love when it's business. She performs affection, manufactures intimacy, constructs a fantasy that the man desperately wants to believe, and by the time he realizes the truth, he's broke, old, and trapped. I was the second type, and I'd been too lonely, too desperate, too blind to see it. It's 2024 now. I'm 76 years old, still in Brisbane, still in that same 1-bedroom unit in Greenslopes. I have about $68,000 left in savings. I've been careful, stretched every dollar, but medical expenses, emergency dental work, and inflation have eaten away at what I'd preserved. At my current burn rate, I'll be okay until I'm 85, maybe 90. After that, I'll be fully dependent on the pension. I still work at Bunnings part-time not because I love it, but because the extra $450 month makes the difference between surviving and struggling. My manager is 34. My coworkers are kind but see me as the old guy who probably should have retired years ago. I live alone. I've been on a few dates, women my age from the community center, but I can't trust anymore. Every time someone is kind to me, I wonder what they want. Every time someone needs help, I assume they're manipulating me. Thailand didn't just take my money. It took my ability to believe people can be good without ulterior motives. I see my daughters once a month. We've rebuilt some of our relationship, but there's still distance. They love me, but they'll never fully forgive me for choosing a stranger over their advice, for risking their inheritance, for being so recklessly stupid. Some days I'm okay. I wake up, make toast and tea, catch the bus to work, come home and watch TV, go to bed. Life is small, but stable. Other days I'm devastated. I think about what I could have had: a nice apartment, travel, helping my grandchildren with university, dignity in old age. Instead, I'm counting pennies and eating discounted bread from the Bunnings Cafe. Most days I'm just numb. I exist. I get through. I don't think too hard about the past because the regret is overwhelming. If I could go back, I'd stay in Australia. I'd join a community group, volunteer, find purpose locally. I'd invest my $380,000 conservatively and live comfortably on the returns. I'd prioritize my daughters over strangers, but I can't go back. I can only warn others heading down the same path. I'm 76 years old, working part-time in a hardware store, living in a small flat, with barely enough money to reach the end. Thailand cost me everything. And the worst part? I did it to myself. Wifa didn't force me. She just offered, and I took the bait. If you're reading this, you're probably considering Thailand, maybe for retirement, maybe because you've met a Thai woman, maybe because you're lonely and looking for something different. Here are 7 things I learned the hard way. They cost me $282,500 and 12 years of my life. I'm giving them to you for free. Maybe someone will listen. Lesson has shown. Never, never put property in her name. I thought Wifa and I were partners. I thought marriage meant shared assets and shared futures. I put $129,800 into a condo that I never legally owned. When the relationship ended, I walked away with nothing. Thai law is clear. Foreigners cannot own land. They can own a condo, but only if they bring foreign currency and jump through hoops. But they cannot own a house or land. If you put property in your Thai wife's or girlfriend's name, it's hers, legally, completely, irrevocably hers. If she leaves, if she cheats, if she kicks you out, you have zero reclaim. The police won't help. The courts won't help. Your marriage certificate won't help. Options: rent, long-term lease, keep your money offshore. If she says real man buy house for wife, she's setting you up. If her family pressures you, they're complicit in the scam. If she insists property equals love, walk away. This single decision cost me $130,000. Lesson #2. If the age gap is 20 plus years, be honest about what it is. I was 62. Wifa was 38. A 24-year gap. I told myself age didn't matter, that we connected on a deeper level, that Thai culture didn't have Western hang-ups about age. The truth? A 38-year-old Thai woman isn't with a 62-year-old Australian man because of his personality. She's with him for security, stability, money. That doesn't mean every age gap relationship is a scam, but it means you need to be brutally honest about the nature of the transaction. Ask yourself, would she be with me if I worked at 7-Eleven? Would she be with me if I lived in a small apartment and split bills? Would she introduce me to her friends and family with pride or embarrassment? Does she act affectionate when we're alone, or only when money is involved? I wanted to believe Wifa loved me, but she loved Somchai, a man her age, Thai, someone she'd chosen when money wasn't the factor. I was the ATM, Somchai was the husband. Lesson #3. The family emergencies never stop. Month 2, her father's medication. Month 4, her brother's business. Month 7, her mother's tooth. Year 2, cousin's wedding. Year 3, niece's school fees. Year 4, nephew's hospital bill. Year 5, brother's shop crisis again. Every 6 to 8 weeks, a crisis. Every crisis, $1,000, $2,000. I sent over $80,000 to her family in 6 years. Some of it was real. Most of it was inflated or fabricated. Almost all of it ended up supporting her and her boyfriend's lifestyle. Thai families do support each other, that part is cultural and real. But when a foreign man enters the picture, the emergencies multiply. Suddenly every uncle needs surgery, every cousin needs tuition, every business needs rescuing, because they know you can afford it, and refusing makes you the cheap foreigner who doesn't respect Thai values. Set boundaries early. I'll help with X, but not Y. I'll contribute once, not repeatedly. I need proof receipts, hospital bills, written requests. If she says you don't trust her, say correct, and that's healthy. If her family pressures you, say no. Better to be called cheap than to end up broke. I sent $80,000 plus to people who laughed at me behind my back. Lesson #4. Don't invest in her business dreams. She wants to open a restaurant, a salon, a guest house, a massage shop, a phone repair kiosk, a clothing boutique. She has the skills, she has the plan, she just needs capital. She'll pay you back once it's profitable. You'll be partners. It's your shared future. The reality. The business will fail. 90% of small businesses in Thailand fail within 2 years. Or it will succeed, and you'll never see a down. Bought because it's in her name and you have no legal claim, or it doesn't exist at all and the money goes somewhere else. I gave Wifa's brother $8,000 plus for his phone shop. I have no proof it existed. No receipts, no photos, no visits to the location. Just her word that he needed help. That money is gone. Rules. Never invest in a Thai business unless you own it. And you can't, because foreign business ownership is restricted. Never give money without contracts, proof, documentation. Assume any business investment is a gift you'll never recover. If she says, "Don't you believe in me?" say, "I believe in protecting my retirement." Lesson #5. Sinsat is theater designed to extract maximum cash. They'll tell you Sinsat is tradition, that it's respect for the bride's family, that it shows you're a good man. They'll say it's displayed at the wedding and returned afterward. Sometimes that's true for Thai marriages, for educated middle-class families. Sinsat is often symbolic or returned. But for foreign men marrying Thai women from poorer backgrounds, Sinsat is a cash extraction scheme. They'll start high, 500,000 baht. You'll negotiate to 200,000. You'll feel like you won. You lost. That money disappears into family expenses and you never see it again. I paid $6,500 Sinsot. I never got a baht back. When I asked, Wifa looked confused. "It's for my family. Why would you get it back?" My advice, offer a small symbolic amount, 50,000 baht max. If they balk, say this is what I can afford, and I'm not going into debt for a tradition that isn't mine. If they insist on more, reconsider the marriage. Real love doesn't have a price tag. Scams do. Lesson #6. The red flags were there. I ignored them. Looking back, the signs were obvious. She kept her restaurant job for face, even after I offered to support her, then quit immediately when I increased the offer, meaning it was never about face. It was about securing maximum payment. The old man at the pras, the restaurant who approached her, said something in Thai that made her angry, then walked away laughing. He recognized her game and called it out, and she panicked. Her constant phone secrecy, angling the screen away, texting in bathrooms, never leaving her phone unattended. Her family's rapid acceptance of me without any skepticism about the age gap or quick marriage because they knew the deal. I ignored these because acknowledging them meant acknowledging I was being scammed. I was too invested, too lonely, too desperate to walk away. If you see red flags, and you will, do not rationalize them away. Trust your gut. The truth, your instincts know. Your desperation overrules them. Lesson #7. Thailand is not your friend. This isn't about individual ties. Many are kind, honest, generous people. This is about the system. Property laws favor Thais. Foreigners can't own land, can barely own condos, have no recourse when scammed. Business laws restrict foreign ownership. You can't just start a business and protect your investment. Marriage laws offer no protection. Prenups are hard to enforce. Marital property defaults to the Thai spouse. Courts favor Thais in disputes. You're an outsider. She's local. Guess who wins? Culture enables certain scams. The helpless Thai woman needing rescue trope plays on Western savior complexes. Age gaps that would raise eyebrows elsewhere are normalized. Transactional relationships are common and not stigmatized. If you move to Thailand, go with eyes open. Keep your money offshore. Rent. Don't buy. Set strict budgets. Assume romantic relationships have financial components. Protect yourself legally. Don't trust, verify. Thailand is beautiful. The food, the culture, the people, the affordability. But for foreign men, especially older men with money and loneliness, it's also a minefield. One misstep, and you lose everything. Lesson Hashite. Don't sacrifice your security for anyone. This is the biggest lesson. I gave up my financial security for Wifa. I thought I was building our future. I was funding her real life with another man. If I hadn't given her a bot, I'd have $380,000 today. Invested conservatively, that would generate $20,000 plus year in passive income. Combined with my pension, I'd have $50,000 year comfortable retirement. Travel, helping my grandchildren. Dignity. Instead, I have $68,000 at 76, work part-time at a hardware store, and live in a tiny flat. The math is brutal. I traded $312,000 in 12 years for what? A fake relationship? A lesson? The title of cautionary tale? To you, whoever you are, reading this, your retirement savings are your survival. Your pension is your lifeline. Your financial security is your freedom. Don't give it away, not for love, not for guilt, not for pressure, not for anyone. If someone truly loves you, they won't ask you to sacrifice your future. If they do ask, they don't love you. They're using you. Protect yourself. No one else will. These 8 lessons cost me $282,500 in 12 years. I'm giving them to you for free. Maybe someone will listen. Maybe someone will read this the night before they wire $50,000 for a condo and think twice. Maybe someone will recognize their girlfriend's sob story as a script, not spontaneous truth. If I save one person from my fate, this story was worth telling. If you're reading this, you're probably in one of 3 situations. You're considering moving to Thailand for retirement or for a relationship. You're already in Thailand and noticing red flags you're trying to rationalize away. You're in too deep and looking for advice on how to get out. If you're considering it, don't do what I did. Don't assume your situation will be different. Don't believe you're smarter or more careful than the thousands of men before you who lost everything. You'll end up broke at 70, working minimum wage, living in a small flat, regretting every decision that led you there. What to do instead? Visit Thailand. Don't. Move permanently. Enjoy it as a tourist, not a resident. Keep your money in your home country. Invest it safely. Live off the returns. Rent, never buy property. If she insists on ownership, she's planning for your exit. Set a budget and stick to it. Calculate exactly what you can afford to lose and don't exceed it. Assume romantic relationships have financial components. It's not always a scam, but it's always transactional to some degree. Be honest about that. Get a prenup if you're marrying. If Thai law won't protect you, document everything and consult lawyers. If you're already there and seeing red flags, don't throw good money after bad. The money you've already spent is gone. Don't lose more trying to salvage it. Sunk cost is already gone. Don't let it trap you. Yes, you've invested $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. That money is gone. Losing another $100,000 won't get it back. Get out before it's too late. You still have some money. You still have time. Cut your losses. Your Pride isn't worth your future. Yes, leaving means admitting you were wrong. Staying means being broke at 80. There's no shame in admitting a mistake. There's only shame in refusing to learn from it. I'm 76 years old, have $68,000 to my name, work part-time at Bunnings, and live in a cramped flat in Brisbane. This is what 6 years in Thailand cost me. You still have time. You still have your money. You still have a choice. Make the right one. Learn from my story. Don't become another one. Thailand is beautiful. It can also be beautifully cruel. Protect yourself, because no one else will.